Hi, and welcome to Devereaux's Fireside Chat video series. My name's Amy Ashman. I'm the National Director of Communications at Devereaux. It's September, which means the new school year is here. And in today's Fireside Chat, we're going to check in with Devereaux's Education Services team to learn about some of the recent advancements and achievements this team's making to benefit students across the country. I'd like to welcome the following leaders to today's discussion. Devereaux President and CEO Carl Clark, Vice President of Educational Services Jackie Auris, who's responsible for implementing Devereaux's education strategy, which really includes managing our internal special education programs and expanding education-based products and services across the country. I'd also like to welcome Mike Manchester, our National Education Operations Manager, who helps oversee education-related business development and expansion opportunities. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
All right, Carl, I know you wanted to kick off this conversation with some overarching comments on our education team. So please feel free to dive in.
Okay, so when you look into the future of Devereaux down the road, I see a very bright light. And that bright light is education services. We now have a national division of education and subject matter expert. You just met Jackie and Mike, and we are taking a very strategic approach in how we expand educational services throughout the nation to include a specific level of competency with behavioral health services married with educational top tier supports and services. As you know, that's such a critical need in this day and age. We're very invested in transition supports, which Jackie's going to talk a lot more about, and our use of technology to maximize the impact and positive outcomes that we may have. So with that, Jackie, take it away.
I'm really happy to talk a little bit about education services here at Devereaux. To just give you a broad-based overview, currently for internal programming, Devereaux has 14 school-based programs that are located in 9 different states. On any given day, we're servicing upwards of 1,300 students. The majority of those students are special education students, so they have an identified disability and a specific education program that's being designed for them. In addition, we have a whole arm of education that is really our external business. And on any given day, we may be in upwards of 10 to 12 different school districts nationally, providing supports either within school districts or within satellite programs that support their students. So we really have a dynamic and pretty interactive education division.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie. And historically, Devereaux has been known for a lot of in-school supports, autism services, and social emotional learning programming. And again, we are looking to blend the best of the mental health supports that we possibly can to ensure that we have the best possible opportunity for positive outcomes with students in those classes.
Thanks, Carl. Mike, I want to turn to you for a moment because the education team is always innovating, finding ways to enhance programming from curriculum and technology to classrooms and our campus grounds. I understand we're putting some recent grant funding to good use for several centers in Pennsylvania. Tell us about that funding and how it's going to benefit our students.
Sure. Yeah, we've received grant funding through the various COVID bills at many of our schools, but very importantly in Pennsylvania, we've received over $4 million worth of grant funding to provide contracted mental health services, to implement technological innovation like new smart boards, new Chromebooks, laptops. We've also endeavored on a STEM initiative that's science, technology, engineering, and math for our students. We've built a hydroponic greenhouse. We've also done some renovations to our buildings, and we are constructing a transition center along with 4 labs to teach our students pre-employment skills that are so important in the transition process.
That's amazing, Mike. All of that sounds incredible. And you've really helped me move on to my next topic, which is transition services. because we all know at Devereaux that these services are so critical for our students as they move on from high school. So I want to ask Jackie. Jackie, how does Devereaux help our students transition from high school to either higher education or employment? And what are some of the advancements we've made with this program?
Yeah, once the foundation for education is laid for a student, transition is absolutely the most important aspect of education that we can provide. It's going to be the thing that provides students to be adults in their home communities once they graduate. In order to make sure they're prepared for that, we have to start when they're still in school. So we really start as young as 14. And the idea is that we're going to get what the students' interests are. We're going to match that with what their skill and what their abilities are. And then we're going to try to carve out a career path for them that is really unique to that student. By the time a student is 16, we're going to be really having them in pre-vocational environments for at least part of a school day so that they can start their career exploration and they can make a determination themselves on the level of success that they're having. We can guide and make adjustments on that so that by the time they're 18, they're actually in community-based placements, doing on-the-job training, doing volunteer experiences. And for students that leave us at 18, they're either going to go directly into those environments that they had been having access to in the community, or they're going to go on to post-secondary of some sort. For our students that stay till they're 21, we continue that intensive focus on real job work for their last few years at school so that when they leave us on a Friday, they know what they're going to be doing on a Monday.
Wow. And that sounds it's so important. Carl, I know you feel really strongly about providing the right supports and services to adolescents as they move on from high school.
Yeah, it's such a critical need. And oftentimes kids don't receive what they need. And that really causes some interruptions in having them be able to transition to a meaningful workforce position or a trade school or any other advanced education they may need. The other interesting component that Jackie provides is a district-wide assessment. For example, working with the school district about looking very intensely at their special education services and see how that might be enhanced and might be more efficiently applied to serve more children in a more effective manner. And these are higher on the food chain kind of analysis that are done, but that's something that with Jackie's vast experience, she's very adept at, and her team shares that level of expertise. So that's something else we're really excited to do.
Thank you so much, Carl. Just turning to another topic, I want our viewers to understand how we partner with Devereaux centers as well as local school districts. And Jackie, I want to start with you. The education services team has really been working to strengthen its partnerships with our Devereaux centers through new offerings. Would you share a few examples of how we're elevating our programming from within?
Yes, absolutely. That's been really exciting, actually. And this speaks a little bit about to the systems level thinking that Carl just mentioned. What we really do is, we have a triangle of support. We have a school district, we have the education team and the expertise of the education team, and we have a center that's located within a servicing area of school districts. And it's really bringing those three supports together to problem solve for a district. Some recent examples are we had a school district in Pennsylvania who was very much in need of a bilingual therapist, not just for one student, but they wanted to start with one student to see how the model would work. We weren't able to find one locally for that school district, but we partnered with our Connecticut center who had a bilingual therapist. And we utilized the technology of telehealth. So now a variety of students in that school district, the model works, so it's been expanded. A variety of students are utilizing that educational platform to get clinical services during the school day. Another example is what we've worked with in New York. We had a local school district near a New York center who really wanted us to provide emotional support services. The center had been providing autism and IDD services. So we worked in a partnership, this triangle again, where we are utilizing the support of the people operations and business folks in the New York Center, and we're providing emotional support services to that school district. And then a final example really is New Jersey. New Jersey had highly skilled BCBAs that were providing services to the adult community. And we've been able to partner together to help market those services to local school districts within that area so that those services can transfer to student or school-age students as well as adults.
That's really exciting, Jackie.
Yeah.
And I want to expand on that a tiny bit with Mike. Because Devereaux works closely with school districts to help at-risk youth. So Mike, how does our Devereaux Center for Effective Schools help these students as well as school administration at both our approved private schools and public schools?
Sure. So the Center for Effective Schools and many of Devereaux's consulting units, their purpose is to take evidence-based practices and implement them in a school system. Oftentimes the school system has difficulty implementing multi-tiered systems of supports and positive behavior interventions and supports, and so many of these other needed models that really make schools operate more efficiently. The Center for Resilient Children, Direct Care Training Resources, and the Center for Effective Schools, all of these unique consulting units started within Devereaux, providing support to Devereaux's own centers. And then we realized that we could increase our breadth and affect many more students by contracting with school districts and other providers to sell these products outside of the Devereaux centers. And a great example of that is our iteration of positive behavior interventions and supports. It was developed within a Devereaux center, within Devereaux centers. And then we've taken that out and expanded a business based around that to local school districts.
Jackie, my last question is about the future. So what are some of the next steps your team's working on to really elevate Devereaux's educational services, taking it to that next level for not only our existing students, but to reach all those who need our programs?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and it's been an exciting journey. We have a vision here with Devereaux. I think we're all on the same page. We want to be a national educational servicing agency to school districts. We want to eliminate any geographic boundaries because there's no reason for any of them. We can provide our services wherever and whenever a school district is in need of them. We have expanded our servicing lines by about 5 or 6 different educational menu options for school districts this year. That rate of expansion needs to continue over the next several years so that we are becoming a kind of a one-stop shopping for school districts for the things that they need. We're going to be partners with them in problem solving. We're not going to say, this is what we do. We're going to say, what is it that you need? So that we're not going to put boundaries not only on the geography, but we're not going to put boundaries on, what we're capable in the educational initiative. We have expertise in a lot of different areas of education that we haven't yet tapped. But the idea is to continue to tap those areas and to continue to expand so that we're really a national face for education.
Jackie, I love it. Devereaux is your one-stop shop for all education services.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank all of you for your time today. I mean, this has been a really fun discussion. Thank you for your viewership. Stay tuned for the next episode. Take care and be well.